Live, we're doing it.
It's Andrea.
Is Jocelyn.
Wrong side, that side. Jocelyn!
Jocelyn. Here I am.
And we are doing another Work With Us session
Yes.
where you are all invited to work on whatever creative thing that you are working on with us. Because we have deadlines for different things and different projects. So, just as an FYI, it's just a housekeeping rule. My camera is right here, but my screen is right there. So if you see me looking like this, it means I'm looking at you guys and looking at your comments if you leave any. If you see me looking at this, I'm working on what I'm working on. Because, yes, air high five. So there's a show. I don't know what show it was, but I saw like a clip of it on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And the people, when they give fives, like, okay, high five. And they both put their own hand up and they both slap their own hand. And so that is my like new favorite thing. It's like my Troy and Abed in the morning, or when they do like the little slap and they hit their chest and their like hands at the same time. That used to be my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's the yeah. But yeah, so just for Jocelyn and I both, if we are looking directly at you, we are looking at the camera. But if we are looking to the side, we are looking at we're actually looking at the actual screen where you guys are. The camera is over our actual work. The screen does not have a camera.
If I'm looking here, I'm looking right at you and I'm seducing you. Okay.
Right.
Yes. If I'm looking here, I'm looking at my monitor where Andrea's face is. If I'm looking here, where I'll probably mostly be, I'm working. This is where the artwork is.
Yes.
So
here is where all the artwork, well, the writing is for me because I can't draw. So when you work with us, there are a couple things you guys have to know for yourselves as you're doing it. You have to have a goal. It doesn't matter how big or how small your goal is. It doesn't even matter really truly if you complete it. The goal is to complete it, but like we're not going to stress you out if you don't. But you have to have a goal of what you want to accomplish. That way you can stay on track. If there's anything in your room that distracts you, if TV distracts you, turn it off. If your phone distracts you, turn it over. Put it on do not disturb. Like that's also a possibility. If music distracts you with words, don't play music with words.
Everybody put on that Andre 3000 album that just came out, where it's just instrumentals. That's great work music. Go ahead, put that on.
I just started listening to that. It's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I was like, is this gonna be? I'm gonna be soup. This is literally like no shade at all whatsoever. But like when I thought flute, I was just like, is this gonna be like pan flute? Like I thought fairies, like medieval, like I don't know. My brain went to Charmed in the episode where the fairies were like all dancing around like the guy with the flute. I don't know. My brain went to that, and I'm so happy it's not that because this is really chill. This is really amazing music. But like when I heard flute, I was just like, okay. And then I was like pleasantly surprised to be wrong because it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But the titles are super long. Like one title of the song is literally like I was gonna write a rap album, I swear, but this happened instead.
I think it's hilarious. It's the funniest thing. Like, cause I don't know if you listened to Panic at the Disco, like their first album when it came out. Yeah. So you remember them song titles, okay? Mm-hmm. But the song titles matched the songs in regards to how intense and detailed the songs were. Okay. Mm-hmm. But Andre 3000's album, you got the paragraph titles.
Yes.
But then it's just instrumentals. And I think that's hilarious to me. So,
I saw a tweet that said people are clowning Andre 3000 for doing a flute album, but like rappers and like artists are going to be sampling it for like the next 30 years. And I was like, that's a fact.
That too. And that's right. But also, like, think about it. Your favorite rappers, like, what other rapper do you know is going to do this?
Yeah.
Like, what? There's no other rapper you know. Who's your favorite rapper who is going to make a full instrumental album just because they can and they want to, and that's all they have to say right now.
I love it. I guess I started listening to it earlier today. So I'm happy for it, and I actually can't wait to see what people sample from it.
I'm excited for, like, if he does live shows again, to see the setup of him performing these songs.
I am going to be super honest, like because it doesn't sound like I thought it would, because like very deep cut into my life.
Mhm.
I played the flute in like the elementary school band.
I did too. My flute is right up there.
I was terrible. It was my mom's flute. I wanted to do the saxophone. No, I wanted to do the trumpet, but she had the flute, and so I had to play the flute, even though I never wanted to play the flute. That is a whole nother story into therapy, but that Jocelyn and I will have offline. But I sucked at it. Oh, I was not good at it. So in my mind, that is the flute that I thought of when he said flute. But apparently, the image that's in the flute that he used was not the flute that I was thinking. I was thinking like Lizzo flute, and that's not the flute. That's why I was like sort of worried, like, what kind of music are we about to be hearing on this thing? And then also remember that Key and Peele sketch with between Andre 3000 and like I'm gonna have to find this into you. We talk about offline because I got distracted. See, y'all distracted me.
It's also my fault. I love carrying on. I love carrying on. It's my favorite thing to do, and I can do it forever. So I need discipline because
So yes,
we are keep it going.
We are going to come back to our reasoning for being here, and we are going to work on whatever thing we're working on. You have to have a goal. My goal is to edit a couple chapters because I have been writing for the last couple of days, and I have not put a single piece of words through Grammarly, and so my grammar is not good if it's not through Grammarly when it comes to written word. So that is what I'm going to be working on today, doing some edits. Jocelyn, what are you going to be working on?
I'm working on a commission for a friend that I had put down for a while, and I'm picking it back up so I can finish it and give them the commission that they deserve. So I am hoping to finish. I don't know if I'll finish it in this session, but I'm hoping to make significant progress with where I want this piece to go.
I'm hoping to, because I'm just going to do like a Grammarly edit, I'm hoping to get through like 3 or 4 chapters of those. And like for those who don't know what Grammarly is, one, learn because it is amazing, but it is a like beautiful editing system where it takes all the thinking out of your own brain and does it for you. And I'm talking about when it comes to like where does periods go, not those commas. Versus colons or semicolons. Is like your sentence a run or sentence? Is there a better way of saying something? It's one of those things. And I will say in my professional life, I don't send a single email without it going through Grammarly. Like literally, like my boss will send me stuff and like run this through your program before you send it and send it back to me or something like that, because it finds things that you think sound perfect and it's like, oh, there's a better way of saying this, especially if you want to be like formal or informal, or if this is creative writing, or if this is like super strict, no like slang whatsoever. It's amazing. And it's like my first line of defense when it comes to editing. So
smart.
Oh. And then also, I just have to say this shout out before we get started. I added 10,000 words to my book in the last like 4 days. I feel like though I still have like 10,000 more to go.
But you did 10,000.
But I did 10,000.
It's 10,000 more than you had. And that's 10,000. That's such a big amount of words, Lord.
I hit my word goal for this book. Like the goal that I wanted to hit, like that was like, okay, well, I at least want to make it as long as the first one. And I hit that goal. And there's still like probably, I thought it was only 10,000 words left in me. And it's like coming out to be like another 10,000. So great. I'll be doing that the rest of this week.
You got more to say.
Yes. Because Olivia is coming to you.
All right.
So I'm actually going to put my Spotify on. And I will put Andre 3000's thing on. Can you hear it?
Yes. Or wait. Is it playing now?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear it.
I'm playing it softly.
Oh, okay.
Though, actually, I probably shouldn't because Facebook's going to then like mute this. Because last time I played music, Facebook muted the entire thing.
Oh.
Because, like, apparently I did not have the legal right to play the music. Which, like, fair.
Yeah, I guess.
So.
This is black. It's coffee.
Oh, that's the other thing. Have your hydration, have your snacks, have your stuff next to you so that way you can sit down and officially work. Like I have smoothie left over, fruit smoothie, because I have not been healthy in the last couple of days. I'm not going to drink any coffee because I'm trying to go to sleep early tonight because I slept in. Because someone and I, not going to say who, her name is Jocelyn, and I talking to like midnight last night.
We had a lot to talk about.
We had a lot to talk about because we were catching up because like we haven't had one of these in a while.
Mm-hmm.
That one was private. That one was just for us. And I was like tired. I slept until like 8 a.m.
Oh wow.
Which I know for some. Okay, let me preface this by saying.
Oh wow.
So let me preface this by saying
8 a.m.
I am a morning person who doesn't want to be a morning person. So like on average, my body starts to wake up around like 5:30 to 6. It's very rare I sleep in past like 6:30 unless like I'm sick or something. And so I was slept close to 8. And then like we partook of like libations last night as well. So I didn't really get out of bed until like 10. So like I was behind.
In fairness, I was just as sleepy. I know I'm teasing, but I was just as sleepy this morning also. Like me and my brother were supposed to wake up and make mom breakfast and all this kind of stuff, and we didn't do none of that. But
you didn't make your mom.
My dad went and got her breakfast anyway. Like I don't think he knew our plans. I think he had planned to go get her breakfast, so it just ended up working out. But before you award me bad daughter of the year, I did her makeup before we went out.
Oh, nice. That's sweet.
I gave her a card that made her cry. So there you go.
Me and my mom, like recently, in like the last 10 years, she and I like both started getting used to doing makeup. Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't allowed to wear makeup until I was like 18. And so I didn't really know what to do. And so I had like the 3-step Bare Minerals, like the foundation, the bronzer, and like the finishing veil. And then I just want you to understand, I put the foundation all over and I put the bronzer all over. And then I put the finishing veil. And that was it. I didn't know anything about liquid foundation. I didn't know anything about like contouring or anything like that. I thought if I went slowly, it worked better versus and then like eyeliner and mascara. You couldn't tell me nothing. But like recently, she and I've actually like started to figure out like how to do makeup. So like I will never do anyone else's makeup because this is my everyday right here.
I used to do makeup, like do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, we had a family friend who came and stayed with us, and she was a model and a makeup artist, so she taught me how to do makeup. And then I started doing makeup for photo shoots and stuff, and video shoots and people. Fun fact, I have a photo of Ari Lennox before she blew up and became Ari Lennox, where I did her makeup.
Cool.
Yeah. So, because she's from here, so
I did not know that.
yeah. But yeah, I used to do it. So if you want, the offer is still on the table. I will come over and help and do whatever.
I had lashes the other day for the wedding. It was so weird.
It's a weird feeling. Did you eventually get used to them?
Yeah, so this is my third time wearing lashes. The first two times were like my brother's wedding, so it was like rehearsal dinner, and then my brother's wedding, I had lashes.
Mm-hmm.
And then no, just the wedding. His wedding, and then our family photo shoot like the week after. That's when I had lashes.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister-in-law put them on because I'm still afraid to put them on myself. I'm going to blind myself. But then for the wedding, she hired, I was a bridesmaid, and so she hired someone to do all of our makeup, which I had to confirm too, because if I have to do my own makeup, I need to practice because I don't know what I'm doing. But she was like, I got you covered. I was like, awesome. They put lashes on, and at first I thought, I was like, is this on correctly? Because I was like, how am I supposed to lift my eyes? I got to pick them, and I picked the lightest one, like the one that had the least amount of like lashes.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I don't want sweet, like I need to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved them. I was like, oh, okay. But I'm still afraid to put them on myself because I'm going to blind myself.
Something that you can use that can make it easier is tweezers. So like you can always put the lash glue on the lashes and then take tweezers and apply them instead of like using your own fingers to stick them on, because I know sometimes it's stressful and frustrating, but using tweezers to apply the lashes can help give you more control and precision and all that. And also you don't have to keep the lashes the same length that they are. Like you can trim them if you need to.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Learning something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very bad at makeup, but we're learning.
Everybody is bad at makeup until they're not. It's fine. It's fine.
I love my friends.
I feel bad at makeup sometimes. It's okay. So
good, we're getting started on our editing. But side note, Jocelyn, I sent my friend what our club is called, what our club is going to be called. And I did ask him, can I say a dark joke? And he said yes. And then I told him the dark joke, and he's like, you are dark. I asked.
I'm all for it. Listen. I'm all for it. Look, you got to test the waters. You got to see. Like, listen, I got to bust out these jokes real quick. Are you good for me to bust out these jokes? Like, and he's down. Maybe he don't know how down he is, but he said he's down. So go ahead and bust out them jokes. You know what I'm
saying? He's not upset by it.
But okay. He was just surprised.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Ooh, so Grammarly says I have over 162 issues in one chapter.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
We're just going to work on a tip for using Grammarly if you do it through your word, like through the word function, because it does have like a ribbon that can be added. You can pick and choose what you want to fix. And so if you want to do just the correctness, which is like things that are grammatically like actually wrong, you can do that. They also have options for like clarity, engagement, and delivery, which is like, it's not wrong, but here's a way it could sound better. So with just the things that are underlined in red, which is wrong because 133. One chapter.
You know what? I feel like that's not so bad out of 10,000 words. I know Grammarly.
Oh, no, this is not. This is out of 1,600 words. This is one chapter.
That's not a. Well,
I will say I do dictation for a lot of it, so it's like a lot. It's bad.
You're gonna get through this. You're gonna get through this. You're gonna make it. Gonna make it. Gonna make it through. Yeah,
I have noticed one of my main things that I found that I do wrong is I always put like a comma, a period where like the quotation marks when it should have been a comma. And those are like a lot of my issues because I never English class and it never made sense to me. Now there's something that just does it for me. I don't have to think about it.
I do know that Word has a function where you can fix stuff like that real fast. Like especially if it's like a quote. Well, maybe not. Never mind. Because I know the function is like if you have something and you want to replace it with something else, like there's a function you can put in like quotations and you want to replace it with a period, you could do that. But like it'll do that for like every instance.
Oh yeah, like find and replace.
Yeah. So it's maybe not as effective for what you're doing. So I renege on what I was saying.
We have received new facts here at this press conference, and we will be updating our answer.
Yes, we have received new information. The facts are no longer the facts.
Oh, we have someone watching us on Twitch. Hi.
The game was really good.
If you would like, feel free to drop into the comments what you are working on, and what your goal is for this working with us session. The comments right now are private only to where Jocelyn and I can see them. Except if you put them on Twitch, then I think Twitch can see them. I think for other places like Facebook and like Instagram and YouTube, I don't think they're going to come up. Because I know how my system works.
Where are all these tabs? I don't need all these tabs up.
Oh, and I also wanted to give like major shout out props to Jocelyn for completing, for creating the cover work or the artwork for the 2024 Virtuous Con. If you guys have not seen that artwork, you have to check it out. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was fun to paint.
What do you say? Sorry.
As just said, it was fun to paint. It was a lot of fun to paint, and I'm glad people are liking it.
It's like so pretty, and I'd give anything to have like that artistic vision.
Oh, thank you.
I always tell people like I can't see it. Like I can't. Like here's what I think I like. Please figure it out. You're amazing. You're working.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Painting is fun and I like it.
Ooh, I'm down to 93 issues for this chapter.
Okay.
I'm making my way downtown, fixing this stuff. One of the funniest things is I created a character and like their name technically is spelled wrong. Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and tell you guys one of the characters' names because it's not. I don't think it's going to change unless the editor's like, look, this does not work. So you know the name James? It's always irked me that it was plural. Like it's always been like weird that it ends in an S. And like then you can say James or like multiple Jameses. It's like it's always weird. So I created a character and his name is Jame. Jamie. Or Jame.
Jamie.
Jamie. And so it's basically James without the S. But like Word keeps saying, this is spelled incorrectly. But it's not.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can't let people see how bad my writing is before it's printed. It's like, oh, you buy your work? I remember when I used to do like fan fiction a lot in the very beginning before I like knew how to like actually edit and use Grammarly and stuff. And I said I was publishing my first book, but I did have an editor who was doing it. And she was like, one of the comments was, well, I hope you have an editor for your work. I was like, oh, damn. She's like, your editing is awful. Your grammar's awful. I was like, thank you for destroying my free work that you didn't have to pay a dime to see.
You said no problem, no problem.
Oh, that is so cool.
Thank you.
I don't like you anymore. We can't be friends.
Oh my god.
Like, WTF.
I'm sorry.
As with someone who could do that, just like out of nowhere.
This wasn't an overnight thing. This has been a commission that I've been working on and off for a year. It hasn't taken a whole year. It's just literally been like a few days every couple of months. I work on this. This is not like, I know it, I cut it on and it looks like a lot, and it is a lot, but this wasn't like necessarily a quick thing, you know. Whoa. I know people can feel overwhelmed when they see something like this and they're like, how, what? Because I feel that way when I look at people's stuff too. And I'm like, how do I even do any of that?
Like Marcus posted a while ago this artwork that was just like beautiful. It was like a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I think he said he was doing it while he was on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, are you effing serious? I was like, you just up and drew this beautiful headshot of some random woman like on the plane. I hate you. Go away. But really, how much something like this costs? Side note.
Excuse me. All right, let's turn all this other stuff off. I can work. What's the reference stuff?
I've learned that when I do dictation, I have like a super, super long, like I have so many like run-on sentences that it's like, oh, this is more than one sentence. This is a paragraph, honey. But one of the things I love about dictation is that I can get like all my thoughts out. It doesn't have to be perfect. When I feel like when I type, I need to type perfectly versus dictation where it just comes naturally. Whatever I want to say just comes out. And so I'm always a toss up between handwriting and like dictation. And most of this book was done between handwriting, which I'm not as perfect about, and dictation, which I'm definitely not perfect about. I just want to get everything out and then like put it through grammar. Like, okay, let's make this actually sound like a sentence, and then I go through and edit.
Excuse me.
I didn't work out today, so I think I'm not as tired because of that. But I will be working out tomorrow.
That's good. I have not worked out in a while, in a long time. And my body is angry at me about it. So I'm trying to work myself up to getting back to working out. Because I'm tired of not working out also.
Well, don't make the mistake I made last week where I have a VR headset and I do boxing through it.
Uh-huh.
and I love it. It's so much fun. I have so much fun doing it. But I made the mistake of like going so fast, so quickly, like getting back into it. And I
Mm-hmm.
had I took like months off of boxing. I don't know why,
Mm-hmm.
but I could barely walk. Like
Oh, wow.
all of last week, everything hurt. Like it was. I was like, I'm just gonna live. Like I'm gonna live on the stairs because I just can't make them up. I can't go up them or down them. Like I needed like that chair lift because like the stairs was just like I'm literally about to die. Like I hope you understand this. Like it's not an exaggeration to say it feels like my legs are breaking as I go up these stairs.
Wow.
Oh, it was painful, and so I'm not when I do boxing. I'm only going to do it every other day to give my body time to heal in between.
Mm-hmm. That sounds smart and prudent. It's true. Does that make sense? So for context, I have this file open, but I also have the same file open 2 different times at 2 different sizes on my other screen. Because it helps me to analyze better the painting in like a full context. So like I'm zoomed in here trying to paint like this one section, but sometimes if you're zoomed in for something for too long, you zoom back out and it doesn't fit in the whole painting anymore. So I've got it open like smaller on another screen so I can like check it to see like, hey, does this actually look good? The fixes you're trying to make, does it like work in the context of the whole painting? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's also good for morale because if you are zoomed in too long and you're making all these changes, you think you're killing it, you think you really like, yeah, I'm painting the shit out of this. Okay. And then you zoom out and it's like, this was terrible. And now I have to fix everything. Because you have to undo all the stuff you just did for like the past hour and a half. And that is just anti your goal. Your goal is to finish the painting, is to get through it.
It's almost that's a score. Off the phone here, Andrea. I'm saying the wrong names. But I was gonna say the same thing could be said for like writing when like you focus so much on one chapter that you don't allow yourself to finish the book. Because you're so like, oh, I'm gonna edit the crap out of the chapter, and then you did all these edits, and then you realize the chapter no longer fits into the book because you made it like you changed the storyline so much it no longer fits.
Yep.
One thing Grammarly also does is like it sometimes can take your word count down because it's like, hey, you said in 10 words, but can be said in 2.
You took too long. Now your candy's gone. That's what happens. Have you ever seen Bee and Puppy Cat?
What?
There's a show. It started as a YouTube show called Bee and Puppy Cat, and it got a Netflix show. It got turned into a Netflix show. It's called Bee and Puppy Cat. It's really silly and irreverent. It's an animated show, and it's real cute. And so it's like Bee is like a girl who's our age, who has to like adult, but she's really bad at it. And Puppy Cat is like this cute cat that speaks a weird, I don't know, language, but is really funny. And there's all kind of stuff that's going on about him. I think he's actually like a prince or something. But he shows up to be basically a companion for Bee. and he's always chastising her because she's so bad at stuff. But they go on adventures. You know, they go on like work for hire jobs in space and stuff. It's cute and weird. It's got some interesting humor.
Oh, it looks like Steve Universe.
Yeah.
I have never heard of the show.
Gotcha. Yeah, check it out. See how you feel about it. I have no idea if it would be your kind of humor or not. It'd be interesting to see. So check it out.
Is it similar to like Steve Universe in its humor? Because I was not a fan of that show. It's not a bad show. Before people come for me, it is not a bad show, but it just wasn't my type.
I mean, sort of, kind of. I get. You could. I think. It feels a little bit less focused than Steven Universe. In the sense where sometimes the plot can feel a bit like all over the place. Like the show, like Bee and Puppy Cat, feels a lot more random than Steven Universe does.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea if you would like it or not. But the episodes are short. They're very short. I think they're like 30 minutes tops. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Give it a shot.
Red River. Scrivener. Oh, dang. I almost added 4,000 words today.
Wow.
Scrivener like keeps track of how many words are like on your manuscript.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to like check like what that number was, and today I added almost 4,000. It was like 3,800 something words.
Wow.
Oh. Okay, I'm done with one chapter.
Mm-hmm.
The next chapter only had 140 critical errors.
Solid.
my favorite editing tools is very like underrated that I don't think a lot of people realized at first. It's becoming more of a popular thing now.
Mm-hmm.
But, like even I didn't really realize it until like the last like 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the last year when it became a really big thing for me when I did the first book of Amatry's Magic. Was a read out loud function in Word, because that dry automatic voice reading my book, it said it everything, like, so like, how words are like homonyms or something, or like you like, no, what's the other one, when there's like through and through, but like is another way of like when it's throw versus through, but sometimes it could be, I don't know, I can't think of it, but there was like a word that basically I thought it was one word, but like it was missing one letter, so it changed it. I can't think of it, the term. Or I could be completely wrong, because again, English was not my strong suit. And the read out loud function was like, oh, I thought it definitely said something else. And I was like, that is not how that sentence sounds. And so like it helped, like before I ever send it to the editor, I always do one full listen through with read out loud without me wanting to make any edits or updates. Because I feel like that catches, and that's exactly the tone that I think the book should be. But then I still send it to the editor after that part, so that way they can like be another extra set of eyes to be like, you definitely missed so much stuff. Or like, oh, this isn't as bad, but like, here's how you can say this better, or this is a better way of doing this. Look at me. I am your queen now.
Excuse me. I have to think so hard to like, painting requires a lot of thinking. It requires a lot of decision making, and like I'm trying to get this section right, and I have to figure out, like, my brain is like trying to calculate the perspective of this person's head in an imaginary space. So like, what is the right angle all this stuff is supposed to be? How is the light supposed to be reflecting? What makes sense? What light is actually available? Where's it coming from? Like, we got this candlelight in the background. How's that supposed to be reflecting off of the helmets? And then is there light coming from the front? Okay, where's that going to be on it? It's just so much thinking. I'm happy to do it. It's a good time. It's just,
people, look at me. Look at my eyes. Everything she just said went over my head. Because what? This is why I don't do art, because there are rules, and I do not follow rules well because I don't understand them. More power to you.
Thank you. I thought about, like, I don't know if League of Legends.
I've heard of it. Never played it.
Okay, so League of Legends, it's a video game, or it's a computer game more specifically. It's free to play. So the characters in League of Legends, there are artists who are hired by League of Legends to make splash art of these characters, and like the splash art is this like really huge, vivacious, like effusive, expressive art of this character. It gives you a very clear idea of like who this character is, what they do, and it's so cool looking. And I used to think, I would look at those paintings and like just try and figure out how do they do that. And like I had an art mentor who would explain the process of those kind of paintings, and I've seen artists who work for League of Legends, like they're gracious enough to post like speed paints of their work on YouTube. But something that has been helpful to keep in mind is like people who work on like those big, huge paintings or even concept designs that look so grandiose and detailed, and like it looks like every decision is a good decision, they didn't work like none of that stuff happens by just one person. Like that was something that was extremely helpful for me to hear. Like a lot of those pieces and works, they're all worked on by teams. So it's like several really good artists all working on one piece for like weeks or months. So like there's just a lot of work that goes into like making something look that excellent. And it helped me a lot to like recontextualize like my own decision making in my own work. Where it's like, yeah, I just have my own brain, you
Yeah.
know.
It's, sorry for the young people. No, I get it because it's like reassuring that you've got this.
Yeah.
Because like it is like sometimes really hard to not, what's the word, compare yourself to like people who are like killing it, but then like, because I'll see like some authors on like TikTok talking about like all the things that they do, and like when it comes to all the different artworks, and this isn't everyone because there are people who do everything by themselves, but it's like, yeah, I have an editor, I have an agent, I do all of these things. It's just like, okay, well, you have help.
Right.
And this is not like undermining anything that they're doing, because everyone started off somewhere, and I'm pretty sure not all of them started with an assistant and an agent. And like one girl posted that she sells all of the books for her friend. So it's like her entire job is the content creator for her friend's writing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like she sells it, she ships it, all of that. Her friend just writes the books and she does all of the work for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, that would be like, great to have someone who does all the content for me. Because
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, it's nice to hear that stuff out loud, because it makes you feel better. Like, okay, you're not Superwoman.
Right.
You're human too.
Yeah. Like I think it's important for most creatives to understand like people who are like super killer, like, and of course there are people who have like super hyper drive and focus and energy to do a lot of stuff on their own. Doesn't mean that they should, but they do. But then again, there are also people who are operating on like a super high level. It's important to know that those people have teams. Like those people have people to
Like our
help.
friend who has that person who joined his like group, and it's like, yeah, I'm doing all the applications, I'm doing all of this. And it's like to help, like, you just focus on creating the art, I'll focus on where you're selling it.
Right.
And that's like,
huge.
it's huge. Because we were just talking about like different conventions to go to, and it's just like, it's hard trying to figure out where to go, what to do.
It's so much. It's so much. So it's really good to understand that like it is a lot, and it's not your fault that it's a lot. It is a lot, and you're not supposed to be doing it by yourself for so long. You know, like if you can, do it to a point where you can manage to get some help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would love to hire someone who does just straight content creation for me, but
Mhm.
I also have to pay them.
Right.
Because people don't work for free.
Yep. And I would want to be able to make enough where I could pay somebody, where like I would feel secure and they could feel secure in me paying them. So that would be great. I Stuff just be a lot of work though, everything just be a lot of work and time. And that is all fine and good. It's just goodness gracious.
I have a friend, I think, who has a personal assistant just for her writing side,
Mm-hmm.
and she loves it because she's like, it takes stuff like posting things off of her plate.
Mm-hmm.
Like she still posts on her own social, but like when it comes to like, okay, I need to, like, I had to go through and like make all of my like posts for like November and December, because I'm late on a lot of November stuff. But like pre-scheduling it on like the Facebook posting thing, so it'll post automatically to Facebook and Instagram, so I don't have to think about it. and take the time to build and make every ad that you guys see. So it's like, it's not just spent writing. And then it's like also to create other products to help supplement the income between book sales and stuff. That all takes time that is taken away from like writing, which is why I've given up playing video games right now until this book is done. I feel bad. I was like, how dare I enjoy playing video games and playing The Sims and other stuff? And like they're like, they published 20 books in 2 hours, but my book isn't done. So also because I'm so behind on it that I feel like I need to put all my time into it, or all of the time I had.
I feel you. Excuse me.
I started watching The 100 again.
What's that?
So it is a phenomenal dystopian type TV show. It came out on the CW, and it was, I don't believe the show was ever canceled. I think it just actually ended. Like they ended the show, like they had an actual ending and everything. And it's basically nuclear war happened. And like all the people who were in the space stations, like all the astronauts and everyone who was like up in space, they couldn't go back to Earth, and they also realized they couldn't survive alone on the different stations, so they all like combined into one mega station. And they had lived up there for generations until the Earth was habitable again, and they were supposed to go down. But then like the ship is about to not be habitable anymore because the life support is about to die because it wasn't made to, survive for so long. And so like they send all of their teens and children who were in jail in their version of juvie down to Earth to see if it's survivable, which is like sort of a effed up thing to do. But it's like, again, you're living in a space station and there's only so much space. And so like any crime, no matter like how big or small, all has the same punishment, you're floated, which just means you're like kicked out of the airlock and you're dead, And so but if you're under 18, you wait until your 18th birthday and then you're brought before a like tribunal to be like, have you learned the error of your ways? Or have you not? And it starts off, episode 1 is the teens getting floated, not floated, but they're all put into a drop ship and they're all sent down to Earth to see if it's habitable early. So like, if they were wrong, you just killed 100 kids,
right?
Who are all under the age of 18.
Wow.
And so, but the Earth is habitable, and it's like there's people still on Earth, people who survived all the radiation, people who didn't die. And so it's like the story of them like trying to survive. And like the one thing I have to say is that all the parents, like I just have to, like, if you send me down to Earth, knowing there's a good chance I am going to die, because you don't know if the Earth is habitable or not. And it is habitable. I do all the hard work of like being down there, of creating like a space for you to come, surviving, no food, no water, we're creating our own shelter. And then you guys come down and then like try to enforce your rules on me. Excuse me? So like there was one kid who like was like crazy and like tried to kill the other kids. And then like there was a whole fight, and then when like the adults made it down, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the show, but it's been out for years, so I also don't feel bad. But they come down and like they're showing them, like the teens were showing the adults where their camp was to go get everyone else. And they're like trying to act like the adults are trying to act like they're in charge again, like they're still in the ship. And so when like one kid saw the guy who tried to kill him, he tackled him and like started beating him, and then the guy was like, arrest him, arrest the kid who was attacking the kid who tried to kill him. Like basically, like you hung him, you were hanging the dude. Like I feel like he had every right to like fight back and to like get his licks in when he was able to get his licks in.
Yeah,
and it's like, you are not animals. There are rules. No, there's not. You sent them down here to die. Like you can't. No, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways.
You can't do this and then act like someone should be civilized under these conditions.
You left them down there to die. Granted, yeah, did you think there were people still down there? No, but there were. And these kids were fighting back against a war against people who were trying to murder them, who were trying to kill them, and fighting back and doing what it took to survive. And you're going to come down there and think you're still in charge of them? Oh, nah. No, that's the one thing that pisses me off. It's just like those adults. I'm an adult too, but still. But those adults coming down there and it's just like, I'm the chancellor, I'm in charge, I'm doing this. You have to listen to us. We know what we're doing. No, you don't. You know why? Because you haven't been down here. And granted, though, it's like the first season was only like, I think, 3 or 4 weeks. There's so much changed, like in 3 or 4 weeks of, because like, I know like from episode 1 to like episode like 8 or 9, only like 10 days. Episode 1 to I think maybe episode 7 or 8, like only 10 days had passed in the actual world. So like season 1, not a lot happened, and so like, I guess for them it's like, yeah, it's only been 10 days. They've gone against acid rain. They've gone against grounders who are literally trying to eat them. They are trying to survive from starvation, from animals that like things that could eat them in the water. They are like, it may have been only 10 days for you up in your space station where you still had all of the beauties and stuff of life, but they're down here, unknown territory. They were literally your guinea pigs. You don't get to tell them what to do anymore.
Yeah. Big facts.
So it's a great show. I love it. And one thing I love is that 2 of the main characters, even though they, spoiler alert for you, slightly, if you do decide to watch it, it's on Netflix. I think all the seasons are on Netflix. It's so good. I do recommend you watching it. It is such a good show. I love it so much. But 2 of the main characters, I won't tell you which 2, but they never get together on the show, but they met and got married and fell in love in real life.
Oh wow.
That's but like cool. They never get together in the show, but you can see, but like everyone wants them to. Like they just deserve to be together. Like the amount of tension, he wants to tap that. Just let him. And it's like you see why there's such a good chemistry, because they actually fell in love with each other in real life. And so I was like, I don't think the characters were ever supposed to be together, because I think it was a book too. And I think in the book the characters were never supposed to get together, so they were holding true to that. But it's like, what do you do when the actors have such good chemistry where you're just like, open a window, let some of this lust out.
I'm trying to think what the last thing I saw where like the characters were supposed to be in love and I believed it. Outlander. I don't know if you've seen that show.
I have not seen that one. I'm not a period piece person sometimes, for the most part.
Okay.
This is, I don't know why, Shonda Rhimes. She got my heart on that one. But otherwise, I'm not really a period piece person.
Fair enough. Speaking, you know what? That's an even better example. The second season of Bridgerton. Yo, did you see that?
So she might kill me for saying this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I was talking to Cerise the other day, a while ago. Like I think New York Comic Con last year, because season 2 was already out before then, I think. And I was telling her about it, and she was like, no, season 1, the Duke, he's just everything. And I was like, honey, baby, my homegirl, my sister from another mister, I love you. You're wrong.
I'm in the minority for the Duke, because to me, the Duke, he just looked like a regular dude from Prince George's County. You know what I'm saying? Like, He just looked like a dude up the street to me.
But so
You
the thing
know,
is, though, if you go in, not because I will say that he is attractive, but he's not my type. The Duke, he was never my type. He is attractive, but it was like the burned for you. I burned for her, whatever. Like that part was like
I just didn't believe. I didn't believe them. I just because I wasn't sold on him. You know, for one thing, and then her, she just looked like Wendy from Peter Pan the whole show.
I'm
Like,
never not gonna not see that now.
I'm like, why do they have her so babyfied? Like,
Because that's how they did their
why?
women back then.
I
That's
guess,
how they
but I'm
did their
just
women.
like, this is really intense. Like,
But I told her season 2. I was like, season 1 is like an appetizer. This I was like the
season two is where they
that
really
was
nailed it.
season
They
2.
was in a bag with season 2. Okay.
I was like I wasn't even sure they could top season 1, but yes they could, and they did very much so. It was top. It was, and I'm waiting for season 3 because I've only read 2 of the books. That's a lot. I've read 1.5 of the books. I've read all of Eloise's story because I loved Eloise and I wanted to see what her story was. After like season 1, I wanted to see what Eloise's story was, so I was like, I'm going to read it because I want to know. Her story is going to be hilarious, and I hope they don't change a freaking thing about her story because it's going to be awesome, and I love it, and I want her story to come to fruition. But then there was a line in her story that made me realize that Penn and what is the brother that ends up with Penn?
I forget. But speaking of this, though, real quick, just no, finish your thought first before I go on my little tangent.
I realized in Eloise's story that who Penn actually got with. This is I read part of their story. I never finished it. I never read the entire thing through. I like skipped through to like different parts. So I've read 1.5 of those books.
Okay. One thing that is interesting and fun and very hilarious to me about Bridgerton is like whoever is meant to be the feature of that season, their characters get like a glow up.
Oh,
so like Anthony, he did not look nothing like that in season 1. Okay. Your man's had the real crazy sideburns going on.
Yeah, the mutton chops.
Oh my God.
He had your mutton chops and your granddaddy's mutton chops.
God, they should have been mowed down with how thick them things was. Like, it was crazy. It was really crazy. He had the glow up of the century. All right. And then like I don't know if you've seen the promo images of
what Penelope looks like this season.
Penelope and the
other
Colin, yeah. Yeah, you seen the promo pictures? Okay.
And I'll admit, I'll say Colin was always my type. Even from season 1 and season 2, that boy was always my type. Because like I don't like pretty boys. I like a little bit of like ruggedness, and he always had like a little bit of like ruggedness to him. So yeah, Colin was always my type. But season 3, it goes back, and so it goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, like how I could never date like someone who's like a celebrity, even though like yay, I'm definitely going to do that because I have the hookup for some reason. But because like if that dude was my boyfriend and I saw what he and Penn are about to go through, I'm like, who am I to stand in the way of true love?
Right.
Because like the way of there's a scene in the book called the mirror scene that is like supposed. I have to go back and read it because I don't think I actually read it when I was like jumping through their book. But apparently, it is a watch yourself scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what does that mean? What
like he's behind her telling her to watch what he does. I think. Yes. I have not read that book, so I'm not 100% sure. I have not finished all of that book because I never read it in order. Because I was
Wow.
yeah, and so
That
apparently they're
sounds
supposed to be doing
great.
that scene. In the show. They're supposed to be doing that scene in the show.
Man.
And so it's like if I saw that, it's like who am I to stand in the way of your love? You and this actress are in love with each other. And like there was nothing he would be able to tell me that I would believe that he didn't love her. Like how I would be offended that he would choose me over her. Because I was
Like, go get your
go get your girl.
Marie. Go get her. She's who you desire and crave. Stop lying to me.
I am super adorable. I am super cute, but like that right there is your wife. Sir. Who am I to stand in the way of true love? Because you love her.
Yes.
And so I feel like, as we admitted, I am crazy. So
all right. On that note, I have to use the bathroom really bad. So I will be right back.
I shall be here.
Alrighty.
Jamming out to jazz. Well, while she's doing that, I'm gonna take a cell phone break. Let's change the background. We did an hour of this background. Let's change to this one. And again, if you are still there hanging out and watching us off of Twitch, I think that's where it says you are. Give us, oh no, that's not read the, that's one. I don't like the way that does that. Let's go to this one. Feel free to leave a chat in the comments and let us know what you're working on as well. Jocelyn, I miss you. One thing for whenever anyone ever looks at this, because I don't know if you will or when you will. One thing I don't always do when I dictate is I don't always go ahead and fill in like the quotation marks of when people are speaking because it stops me from having like a easy flow of this like word spilling out of my mouth. Um, um, and but the annoying part is going back when you edit and like having to add them all back in. This girl's having a full conversation with this guy, and I didn't use a single quotation mark. And so now I have to like read through where the conversation goes. But like I've also learned that it'll take me 20 minutes of starting and stopping to make sure I add the quotation marks when they're in, or like just 10 minutes of pure talking. So and then I figure I have to edit it anyway, so I can just add the quotation marks when I go through and I do like the full edit, you know? Does that make sense? Or am I just crazy? The one thing also when you do dictation, the it sometimes picks up when you do the like sometimes picks up where your period should be, but a lot of times it doesn't. Or like when something should be a capital word and when it's not. So be prepared to have a ton of editing to do after you come back with it. Oh, you're back!
I'm back. I just got back. I just got here. Don't worry.
I missed you.
Oh,
You left me alone. I don't like that. Why did you leave me alone? I changed the background as well.
it looks very fun and festive.
I was telling my friend what we're doing, and so he was like, "Oh, if I ever write a book, maybe I'll slide through." And I was just like, "Yeah, you're up my viewership." And he's like, "You're too kind." I'm like, "I'm just looking out for my views." Like, I'm going to use the attractiveness of my friends to bring more people. Do you watch the podcast with Fuhad and James?
Who was that? No. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know who that is.
So they are one of the few guys that I are like super toxic, but I love them. And so like they're one of the few toxic guys I'm just like, you can have a podcast because like all of your views are like for the most part like stupid, but at least you're being like real about it. Like they're not doing it in disrespectful ways. And this guy probably is disrespectful, but like they were reading a Am I the A-hole thing, and like the mom was talking about how she's like a 38-year-old divorcee, and her son, who's 13, just started dating someone who's 2 years older than him. And she's like, the girl is 15 going on 16, and she's like, I'm trying to stop my son from being active. And so both guys like, oh, there's no way you would have been able to stop me. I'm 13 pulling someone 2 years older than me. And so they're English. And so he's like, that's year 8, or I'm like, something like that. And then James stopped. He was like, wait, I'm pretty sure that's the grade my sister's in. No. He is a child. He is a child. And it's just like they have such horrible takes on things, but they do it in such a funny manner where just like, I would never date you in real life. Like I could never date you because you literally showed me how toxic and like horrible you are, but you're funny. Like they're not demeaning when they do it. They're funny while they do it. And so there's a running joke that James loves Fuhad more than Fuhad loves James. And so Fuhad was telling a story, and it was like, I went to a spot with Toby the other night, and James was like, well, first of all, you've been spending a lot of time with Toby, and I don't like it. And so Fuhad's like, I'm with you every week, brother. Like I'm recording, and James like, that's for work. That's for work. You wouldn't see me if you weren't getting paid. Right now, ask me right now. Do you miss me when I'm not around?
I think I know who you're talking about. Are they're like, are
one's
they
light skin and one's dark skin?
Oh, wait. I think I know who you're talking about. And I think I've probably seen the clip. Yeah.
And so they went to like this other podcast. I guess this guy hosts a podcast show and like a shoe store because I can speak. I know words.
You got it.
Also, like they record the people walking in, So you see James and Fuhad walk in, and then like James flips his hand on Fuhad's bicep, like he's holding onto his arm as he comes in, and Fuhad just loses it and just starts busting out laughing, like and moves his arm, like, what are you doing? So like there was a joke where it was like if your friend got stung or bit by a snake on their part, would you like suck out the venom? And so the other friends on the couch were like, I'm sorry, dude, you're dying. And
Right.
James was like, for him, I suck it twice, one for both fangs.
It's okay, man. You know, sometimes your friends turn you on and you can't help it. And sometimes it
I love
and you don't know how to cope. You don't know how to cope. You don't know what to do. You're just like, I don't know, man, but you're my friend, so I just have to express this to you.
like James and Fuhad, I can't like because they're like terrible. They would make like I feel like the way that they act, I could never ever date either one of them. Not like I would ever meet them, but still, you know, like guys like them, I could never. But like I would want to be their friend.
Right.
You're like, I don't need you to be romantically interested in me. I just want to sit there on the fly on the wall as you guys talk because I just want to laugh so hard that my head hurts.
I didn't realize that that's mostly like what podcasts are like nowadays. It's just like friends getting on and not really talking about anything. It's just talking about nothing essentially. And I'm like, that's great. I appreciate that. I am not mad at that.
I mean, I feel like we could have one of those podcasts, you and I, but I just don't know if we would always have something to talk about. It would be a very like we have to be very careful what we say.
It'd be tough. It'd be tough.
Like our unfiltered conversations are amazing, but like they're just for us.
Yes. Excuse me. Excuse me, miss. What's your name? Where are you from? And can I come? Possibly. Can I not tonight? In the movie to the party. Have it all before I let me know. Can I think you out tonight?
Don't get rejected. I listen and regret the fact I missed the chance for romance that leaves. I walk away knowing I tried. Going out. But at least she heard me say. That voice, I couldn't keep a straight face and keep doing that voice.
Through the movie, through the pop, I had you home for the dark. Never know, and I take you out tonight.
Luther. So there's a song of his that I can't listen to anymore, like at all.
Why?
Because like it makes me cry, like full on ugly.
Oh, I know which one.
Yeah, and it was just like I heard it like literally like a week by accident.
Yeah.
A week after the whole thing had happened, and I was just like, son of a.
Yeah, it's funny after the breakup, you know, I was listening to music like normal and nothing was really like affecting me for a while. I think this was maybe a couple months ago where Orbit by NAO started playing and I was like, I got to cut this off right this minute. I'm gonna lose it in this car if this keeps playing.
So my ex, and this is no shade to him because he is actually a really good guy. He recently got married. Congratulations.
Wow.
I heard through the grapevine because people told me because I'm supposed to be invested. But I'm actually really happy for him that he got married. Because I know he really wanted a wife and I know he wanted a child and he wants like what he wanted and what I wanted were two very different things.
Right.
So he recently got married. So congratulations to him. But he had this thing that pissed me off. That he would like dedicate songs to me. And I'm like, please stop because you're ruining the song. So like there was a Neo song that I cannot listen to, and even when we were dating, so like when I listen to music in the car, like book scenes like play out in my head to like the tone of the song, and so I don't like any songs being dedicated because then you're taking away from what the song. Like if it's an action song, I can see a fight scene playing out, and it like makes sense to me because I can see it that way. Or if it's a love song, I can see two characters trying to like figure out how to admit that they love each other because I'm emotionally stunted. So like things like this help, you know? But he like donated this Neo song to me. Oh, I gotta forget the name of the song. And now to this day, I can't listen to it because he ruined it for me. Even when we were dating, I could only think about him, and not like in a bad way, but like it's like you ruined a song that could have been something that could have been inspiration for something else by tying yourself to it.
Yeah.
So stop doing it.
No, sometimes
as you guys can tell, I was not a great girlfriend either. Most people were like, "Oh, Good Man" by Neo. And then like also a new crap up like when I found out more information about Neo, I was like, I love his first 3 CDs, but I can't keep doing this other stuff because I know what you do. Like, I want to be a good man, and he's like, I'm gonna dedicate this song. He's like, Sarah, I want you to think this song is for you, and I'm just like, don't do not dedicate songs to me because you're ruining them for me now. Because I can't have book scenes in my head if you keep coming up, you're ruining it. And he was actually really mad. I felt really bad for hurting his feelings, but it's like, you have to understand, I'm not a romantic. Stop treating me like one. Which is why I'm happy he found someone who is exactly what he needed, you know, because I wasn't what he needed and he was not what I needed. But it's just like, you're ruining songs by dedicating them to me. Stop it. I was evil sometimes. So, like, what are you doing right now to those horns?
I'm trying to, so I'm trying to do a couple things. One thing I'm trying to do is to make sure that they're at the right angle for like where this person's face is facing. And I'm trying to help sell them by making sure that the light on them makes sense and trying to clarify edges. And when I say clarify edges, like when edges of things are clear, it helps sell realism. So, for example, like right here, this is like the edge of the helmet, and it's kind of shaky and stuff. And you don't know necessarily what material that is, or like, is it supposed to be the shape? So, like, something that can help with clarity is like if I just make like a solid straight line, like if I just make this a straight line, if I show clearly where the bottom is, you know, like, is it just a straight point? You know, is it like beveled? That kind of thing. You know, does it, you know, is the top part like flat? How flat is it? You know, like adding clarity like that, to help it just look more fit, to help finish it.
So I just want you to know something from the bottom of my heart, okay?
Yeah.
Everything you could have just said could have been an absolute lie, and I would have never known. You could have been talking out the side of your neck and making up every single thing that you just said. But it goes to show the amount of work you don't see that goes into your work. Because, like, I get what you're saying, because that line does make it look more defined.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, never, like, the thought process behind it that you're actually putting into it is just like, you could have lied, and everything you could have said to me could have been a bold-faced lie, and I would have never, ever known.
And I one thing I would like to get better at is explaining what I'm doing. So that, like, if I'm explaining it to somebody, they can understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, no, I'm not saying I didn't understand what you're talking about. I'm just saying it's like you might as well be speaking physics. Like, you get it makes sense, but it's like, how does gravity work? All I know is that gravity works.
I know, I got you. And fun fact, because I went to school for art, one of the classes we had was like physics for artists, and that was like such a cool class. And the class basically was explaining how natural phenomena in the world works, so you can understand how to depict it in your art. So like they taught us about how, like, light refracts off of things, and like what bounce light is, and when it's like really hot outside and you look in the distance and like the air is like, it looks wavy in the distance, like they explain why that happens, and like why water looks the way it looks when it's like a bright sunshiny day and it's like clear blue water, and like what's happening with the light in the water, what's going on there, what's happening with clouds and light, how the time of day affects the color of everything, and how to think about that when you're painting. So like, for example, if it's like high noon, the sun is like directly in the center of the sky. So you have such harsh shadows that go a very specific direction, as opposed to, and also like, if it's like high noon and there's like barely any clouds in the sky's, like that perfect blue sky, right? Something that happens in the shadows is like, you've got a blue sky, but something that happens is like, in the shadows and on the ground, there might be like yellow or orange, because it's kind of like the opposite side of the color wheel. I don't know exactly why this happens. It just is. It's like everything is, I don't know, we're inside of a light prism. And this is the way our eyes kind of see. this is how our eyes are interpreting light. Okay, so like, if you've got like the bright blue sky, the shadows, you might see some like yellow. Okay. That's high noon. Say it's like 5 o'clock and the sun starts setting, you get those really strong sunsetty colors. So like, the sky might be this like really bright orange, or hot orange, right? In your shadows, you'll probably get purple, which is very interesting. How stuff, and you can keep that in mind when you're like trying to paint those kinds of scenes, and then if it's like an overcast day where the sky is bleached white, that's a good time to like paint and study, because then you're seeing the colors of everything for like what they actually are. So like, it's very interesting. So you won't have like an affect of a bright sunny day on like a red roof, so like, if you've got like the bright yellow sun on a bright sunny day on a red roof, that red might tint more towards like orange. But if it's an overcast day, that red is going to be the truest red that it actually is. This is very interesting. So like that class was super cool because it taught us how to like, you know, like what those phenomena are and how to keep those in mind when you're like painting stuff and like trying to paint imaginative realism, you know, which is like stuff, which essentially is like making stuff up in your head. But like how to do it in a way where you're not making up complete nonsense. Like they follow some kind of logic, they follow some rules of like groundedness of physics, you know. So like where's the light source? Are you inside or outside? What time of day is it? What's the weather? All that stuff is going to affect what's happening in your painting, you know, in your piece.
There is this oh, we have another person watching. Hi, person watching.
Hello.
Let us know in the comments if you are working on something and what you're working on, or if you're just here to look at our beautiful faces. Don't be worried about it. So there's this director, and he was talking about the lighting thing that you're talking about, like how he was like trying to figure out where the light's coming from in a movie scene, and then there was no way to get the lighting to work based on how the scene was set up, and he was like, "F it, it's fake. Throw on some lamps."
That too. That's another thing that you just learn, which is like, yeah, you got all these rules of physics, but at the end of the day, you are artist. Like, it's art. So like do what makes it look cool and good, you know. And because like honestly, you just want to do enough to where people buy what it is that you're trying to sell. Not like literally like it's money, but
Yeah,
like
I know, like accept it.
Yeah, like people believe what it is you're putting down on the page. So you just need to do enough where people can just easily buy in and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. And I really like it because like, you know, it's following some kind of logic that you don't necessarily know what's happening, but it's stuff you innately know. You know, like it doesn't take you out of it. Like, why is the light doing this? Where's it? You know,
there is no way humanly possible that would work.
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons why I created like fantasy worlds for my first book, because I was like, I'm not following any rules of Earth.
And it's so funny because fantasy, like sometimes you have to take into consideration even more of like how to make stuff real so it's believable.
I do not do that.
Fair enough.
I am the author. I am the type of author, and granted, there are people who think I'm wrong and their thoughts are valid, and there are people who think I'm right and their thoughts are valid. But I am the type of author who is just like, is it fiction behind my book? Then it's fiction. Then it's not real. It's okay if it doesn't make sense in the real world. Like I remember I got into an argument with someone about like science fiction and like or sci-fi and like how like I had to make sure that the science was correct when it came to like my spaceships, or I had to explain it, and I was like, no, I don't. It's a spaceship. They're not real. If intergalactic travel was real and the math worked, do you think we would like? It's fake.
It only matters so much as it matters to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if it doesn't matter, I was like, my main character is never going to have to know how to like work a ship. She's just on it. So she doesn't need to understand how all the science would have worked or explain it. Or if I just make up scientific terms and say it's alien machinery, as long as it like she's not dying in space. And people said I broke the rules, and I was like, how? It's fiction. It's fake. Like I'm openly admitting nothing in this book is real. How am I wrong?
Science fiction is sorry. Let me not do that. Science fiction is cool though, because like, you know, you can think about like, oh, how could this be possible? And it's not
Oh
necessarily
yes, no, yes,
yeah, like, and you don't necessarily have to be like an astrophysicist, you know, or anything like that, or an astronaut to necessarily figure out the entire problem. But it is interesting to see like how could this be possible, and what under what conditions would this circumstance, you know,
be
exist?
possible.
Yeah. So that's definitely
There,
super interesting.
there was one book where it was like that, where they like it sort of explained. It was like fiction set really close to the real world,
Hmm.
and so it was no, the romance was very much written by a man, because like ain't no way a woman's falling in love with a guy that quickly. Just ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. Um, um, but the science, the way he explained the science was just like, if this was real, we would be doing this right now. But he explained it so well that it could have seemed like it was real.
Mm. So another thing I'm doing right now that is like kind of messy and I'm gonna have to clean it up later is I'm doing like the digital painting version of something of like an oil painting technique called alla prima, which basically means wet on wet. And basically what that means is like
What up, Rod?
raw gang gang
Said
gang
that's
gang
only
gang.
if you are in hard sci-fi. Most of it is soft, meaning there should be a loose science base for why things are the way they are. Like, don't want to have Neil deGrasse Tyson on hand as a consultant.
Facts.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Facts. No, yeah, the only time you want sci-fi to be, and honestly, you're not gonna know what they talking about half the time. Like if they if they're really going deep into the sci-fi stuff, like it is interesting to think about for like games, because games I feel like um you should explore like more of like the science and space stuff to make it believable, because you do have to like make an actual visual
Yeah.
world that players have to interact with, and like the logic has to make sense for the gameplay and all that kind of stuff. So like games like Mass Effect are super interesting. Starfield just came out. It's a game by Bethesda Studios, um, which is in Bethesda, and
I'm
that
guessing you mean Bethesda, like here, Bethesda.
hmm
Oh, cool.
yeah. And yeah, Starfield is a game that came out recently, and it boasts you being able to travel to like a whole bunch of different planets and stuff, like galaxies. And I haven't played the game yet, so I don't know how far they go into like all the sci-fi stuff. But it is interesting, just see like, okay, well, what does that look like? Um, yeah, Mass Effect super interesting. Mass Effect Andromeda um basically kind of tackled the issue of like
Ross
what
says
would
he got freaking frostbite in that game walking around a planet.
that's funny. So there's okay, so there's a survival aspect to Starfield. I didn't know that, but that's interesting. I had no idea. Um, but yeah, in Mass Effect Andromeda, um, they basically kind of tackle the problem of like, what is it like if you, and a bunch of other humans, uh, have you leave Earth to go find another habitable planet, and what does that look like? And how are you going to traverse these planets to figure out if they're livable or not? So you're in like this like space rover on these planets, and you're trying to figure out what's there and all this kind of stuff. Is very interesting. You can go to different planets, you can mine the planets. um it's all very interesting. It's like, dang, you know, because you just need to know enough to sell that, like, dang, we're in space and we're doing this. We're commanders and we're trying to find a place to live. Oh my god. I believe it.
We have another person as well.
Hello.
And yes, you do see Lokis. She's working on a commission for one of her friends, and it's multiple Lokis.
Yes.
She is zoomed in as she's painting.
Zoom out so you can see the whole thing.
So I will admit, when you first pulled it up, I only saw the 3 Lokis. There's 5.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I only saw 1, 2, and 3, and then like you zoomed in, and I was like, "Oh, was that person always there?" And then now I'm seeing another one. Yeah. Is there 5 Lokis?
There's 5 Lokis.
Okay, so I'm now seeing all 5. I originally only saw 3.
So I just turned on a bunch of layers. And so this is closer to what it's going to look like when it's finished. But I had all these other layers turned off so I could like finish cleaning up some of the stuff that's unfinished. So like the Lokis I needed to nail before I added all the flourish and stuff, you know, all the magic and effects and whatnot. Like I need to nail the Loki's faces.
He says put a little gator Loki on the floor.
Oh, that's so smart.
I will say, again, this goes back to like what you were talking about earlier about like things that you're like, there's a whole bunch on this that you see that I don't see at all whatsoever. Like it's to me, this looks done. This looks perfect. This looks amazing. But like going into how you were describing the process behind the art, and like what you're doing, I get what you're doing. But I will say, to me, this is done. I was just like, oh, like if you had said this was your final product, because when you brought this up, I was like, what is she working on? This is it's so pretty.
Thank you. It's almost done. There's some things that I'm not, you know, I wouldn't feel good giving it to somebody as like there's stuff in it that is unfinished, because I know that this, like when I give it to my friends to get it printed, like this is supposed to be like an 18 by 24, you know, size piece, which inevitably isn't that big, but I know it's gonna be kind of big. And so if it's big and they're gonna look at it, I want the details of it to be as clean as I can get them, you know, not necessarily super perfect, but just like nice enough where it doesn't look like muddy and messy in like not a cute impressionist painter way. Like I'm all about impressionist painting where you put up some paint mess and it just looked like some stuff. I'm all about that. That is so much fun. Oh. Sorry, the dog started scratching at the floor. I was like, what's happening? But yeah, I just, you know, it's almost done. I'm trying to clean up some stuff, make sure some stuff makes sense. So we almost there.
Well, so my birthday is in April. So if you just want to like gift me with a beautiful gift, though we still need to connect on our other project. I will admit that this book becoming 3 that changes my initial thought about it, because that project can't be done before the book is done. Does it, like, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So like sadness.
That's okay. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure out what needs to be going down.
Look at that. I was very excited for it. I was like, I can finally start it. I can start pulling scenes. I mean, granted, I can still pull scenes and like start, and you can like start doing stuff, but I was excited to have like all of it done.
Yeah. I mean, it'll get done either way. It just might take a little longer, and that is okay.
So, Rod, one of the things that we have been asking people to do in the chat, but you're our first chatter today, which is weird. I feel like normally, like, again, no shade to you, Rod, but I feel like normally we have like a whole like slew of people in the chat, which is weird. We got to build it back up because we haven't been back in a while. That's been my fault, by the way. I will admit it has been my fault while we have not gone live, because I have been very busy in my day job and my day life, where I just do not have the energy to do this. And then Jocelyn did have some cons, but I will take the hit for us not being here as often.
We was busy. We was trying to finish out that con season. You was in London doing stuff.
I was in London. I went to New York Comic Con. I was in Denver. I applied to some cons in Denver. I think I applied to like FanCon Denver and then one other in Denver.
Don't do the con. Don't do it.
But no, so Rod, the thing that I was saying was you have to say what you're working on in the comments. Because I'm working on edits for my book. I added 4,000 words earlier today. So I've been like going through and putting it through Grammarly to like get all the grammatical correct things fixed on it before I go through and do like the full edit. I edit in portions. I do one thing once, and then I go through another part. So that way I only like to do the storyline edit all together at once versus going back and forth. But neither here nor there. Jocelyn, as you can see, is working on this beautiful Loki portrait. So beautiful. Like I sort of hate her how much she can draw because it's so beautiful. If you see me inhabiting her body like a soul sucker, we're close. We're a little too close. I'm so sorry. That was awkward, people. But Rod, what are you working on? Are you editing anything? Are you just hanging out? What are you working on? A Miso Membri comic script? Is that what you're saying? Means lots of them in Latin. Is this for one of your books, or is this something new? Hey, Rod, check your messages. We ain't serious. We're having so much fun. Oh, cool. So for those who may not be able to see the comments because I have not put them live because then their screen would be much smaller, Rod said that he has a group of military amputees in his sci-fi book, Ancient Illumination. Shout out, what? And that get cybernetic enhancements after losing limbs in war. And this is a comic series, which is a spinoff of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at him doing spinoffs. I'm still trying to finish the series.
You won't get there, man. Don't even worry about it.
It's really interesting because one book that I wish I had like a spinoff for was Adelathea. The amount of people who have come to me and asked me for a sequel to that book, it's crazy. And fun fact, it did start off as a 3-book series, but because I didn't know what I was doing when I was first published that book, it did not end up as a 3-book series. I published 2 books at first, and then when I was trying to do the 3rd book, I realized I had wrote myself into this corner that I couldn't get myself out of. And so I like pulled the books back, and then I like republished them as one together. And I never had anything more than that story for this book. And so I would love to do another story in that world because Adelathea was my baby. I loved it. It was the first book that made me an author. But you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And I got nothing else for it. I'm still very shocked that Amachi's Magic is about to be a 3-book series because Olivia was like, hey, she has a couple people she wants y'all to meet in the 3rd book. That's like sitting in the back of my brain.
Yeah. 24 by 36. See, I knew I was wrong. See, that's bigger. I messaged my friend that I was going live with their commission. So they might be watching now. I'm not sure. If you are, hey.
Hey person, hey, because I don't know if you're a girl or a boy.
They're non-binary.
Hey, oh, how does that work then? Hey, they.
Hey, friend.
No, but the other thing is like, hey, girl, hey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out what the version of that is.
Hey, they, hey.
I'm gonna come up with the correct version for that.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a way of saying that. I'm an equal opportunity. I can't even think of what the word is supposed to be. Equal opportunity pun person?
Con person?
No, pun person. Like
Pun.
I don't think that's not a pun, but it's a saying. You know what I can't think of what I'm trying to say. My brain hurts.
Let's see what's going on here.
So one thing I'm really excited for that I would love to hear people's like thoughts on is the movie that's coming out called The Magical Society, the Society of Magical Negroes.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
I am so excited for that. So excited for that movie. I rarely go to the theater anymore. Like it's very like it has to be something I really can't wait for because like ever since COVID, I've really gotten into the whole. I'll just wait a month and it'll come out on like some streaming platform in a month, and I'm good.
Yeah.
But that one, I will be sitting in the theater the night of, maybe the next day as well, to watch that. I'm so excited for that movie.
Mm-hmm. What's happening?
So I can see why you're mad at the title, but I feel like it was probably something that was created in the like. It's like for me, it's like the NAACP. It was like there was no, it's not that one. There was one that had Negroes in the title that was made by Black people. I want to say I may be remembering history wrong.
It was a fantasy thing.
No, there was an organization, or was it a baseball organization? Like it was like but Negro was in the title of the organization, and so it's like for me, I feel like if this organization was created in the movie, if it was created, like back when that was what we called ourselves, quote unquote, and like what like everything that was for us had that title in it. I get why that title is that way. It doesn't necessarily mean if it was made today, will the organization have that title? No.
I got you. I get you.
More so because of the trope. I can't wait to see it. I have no idea what that movie's about, but I'm going to go see it.
I just hope it's good. Like
Me too.
with a title like that, I just want it to be good. All right. What's going on?
It's so interesting what this book has become.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I was going through and doing the edits of like just doing like the grammar edits,
Mm-hmm.
I love this book so much. That's why I always tell people, write what you want to read.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you like, I feel like you should get enjoyment out of the books that you're creating.
Yeah.
I realized I haven't really watched TV today because like I had to turn my TV off to write and do the dictation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of myself.
That's good.
So some people may be asking, they probably aren't, but I'm just gonna act like they are. Why I'm wearing the wig today? Because I have not combed down my hair out of my wrap in like 3 days. But I really want to take this wig off right now.
It'd be like that,
I want
man.
to comb down my hair just to put it back up in like 2 hours, you know? It's like, oh, this wig is annoying me right now. So I'm just going to answer your questions before you ask them.
So something I've noticed about when I'm painting
Mhm.
that I tend to do sometimes that I'm trying to be more aware of and fix. Is
I'm
like,
so sorry. Ron said throw it at the camera could mean fun. I'm not throwing my wig. No one's seeing me. I was about to break out laughing. I didn't want you to think I was laughing at you, so I had to tell you when I was about to laugh.
no, yeah. I mean, I agree. Listen,
No, because I have like a skull cap on under. I have like a stocking cap on.
even better.
Under.
Even better.
No. I am single, trying to mingle. I will look my best all the time.
Look, man, hey, all right.
I will look presentable, not my best. I will look presentable.
I just kind of feel like,
We all can't be Jocelyn and look amazing no matter what.
all right, all right, all right, all right. It's enough, okay? It's enough.
I'm a fan of. I'm going to be the James to your Fuhad.
Oh God, Lord. Oh,
I am
my
the James
Lord.
to your Fuhad.
I'm just saying. You could take it off and throw it at the camera. Nobody would be mad. That's all I'm saying. You could even put it right back on.
That's the problem. I may not.
Have you ever tried to put it on backwards just to see what it looked like?
No.
Dang, I was
I
really
would do it
hoping
in the
you'd do it right
bathroom,
now.
but
I was
you
really
guys
hoping you'd
couldn't
do it
see
right
it.
now.
Huh?
I was really hoping you would do it right now. You don't have to. You don't have to
I
do
have
nothing.
not had
in that
enough
couple
tequila. This is not last night where we were drinking wine.
minutes.
This is you are not my friend. Why would you ask me that?
I just wanted to see. I look. I promise I'm not
Oh my
trying to
God, where's
embarrass
the front?
you. I just
I
wanted
lost
to
the
see.
front. Where's the front?
It's, keep going. Just keep turning it the way you was turning it. We was gonna get
I
there.
lost the front of the wig. Wait, is that the front?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's the part. Bring it more the other way. You. There you go.
There we go. You're not my friend. Why would you ask me to do that?
I am.
It's awkward because like I'm looking at that screen, but my camera's right here.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell this isn't great. Okay. Are you calling me an old volunteer?
I wasn't trying to have her out here like that. And it is the best. It really is the best. But I wasn't trying to have you out here like that.
I'm just gonna cry.
Oh. It's back. It's back how it's supposed to be. It's looking great.
I don't know if I trust you anymore. Having your hair turned in my
No.
wig. This is not Dream Girls.
We your dream girls, boys,
We'll
we
make
get
you
happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We your dream girls, boys, we'll always care. We your dream girls will never leave you. No, no. And all you got to do is dream, and we'll be there.
We your dream. Dream Girls will make you
I think I messed it up.
From what?
Not the lyrics. I can't remember what comes next.
Dream Girls will make your dreams come true. Dream Girls will be good to you.
There you go.
And I am telling you. I almost passed out once because I was determined to hold my breath as long as she was holding hers, like to do the long thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it like 6 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost passed out one time when I was younger.
Wow.
It was like because I literally was not breathing. I was like trying to hold the note.
Mm-hmm.
It was not working. I just look at how much it's going to cost to edit my book.
How much? Or like ballpark? What's that figure?
At least $1,000 for one round.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
But it's worth it because I want to give my readers an amazing product, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people now, because I didn't use an editor in my first, well, I did for my first book because she was a friend and she did it and she was like a professional editor. The first Alindo book was not professionally edited when I first published it. And I literally had someone send me a message. Can can I edit your book for you, please?
And I don't like this. I don't like this. It's bad, and we need to fix it.
And I learned at that moment, and that's when I was only doing like Grammarly, and I was reading out loud, and I was doing my own line edits, and I thought I did a great job because, like, I took my time doing this edit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an editor. I did not see things. She saw so many things. I was like, sure, send me a sample to see if you're good. And she sent me a sample. I was like, oh my God. And ever since then, I paid for an editor.
It's smart.
But it's gonna be more expensive because remember how I said I'm like probably 10,000 words away from being done. And I just did it off of what I currently have, but the prices per that they pay, it's like per word you have to pay. And I always do 2 rounds. The first round, so they catch everything, and then I like fix it, do everything they say, and then I give it back to them for a second round, and like a second person reads it, and they see if they missed if I missed anything, if the first person missed anything, and then like with my updates, they add in, they like do a final round. I'm gonna go in debt for this. Please buy my book.
All right, stuff's getting wonky here. Perspective is hard.
Holy crap. Going to the airport apparently is so backed up. Like they're backed up all the way on Route 1 from Reagan.
Wow.
I had a joke in there for you, but I'm not going to do it. It's so pretty. Wait, did you flip it?
I did. So flipping the canvas helps me to get clarity on where things are looking wonky if I feel like stuff's starting to look wonky.
The one on the edge looks weird.
Which one? Which side?
I'm looking at it on the screen, the left.
Yeah. Yeah,
he looks weird.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to problem solve that. Oh, okay. No, yeah. But that's why I flipped it, because I'm like, I know it looks weird, and I'm trying to figure out like why it looks weird. So
I feel like if the head, can you turn the head in a bit more to face the front?
I can try.
It sort of looks like his neck is broken.
Got it. I was trying to get it to where his face is like tilted up, but I think if I was somehow able to like bring their face forward a little bit to where you could see, it's hard to explain, but like I can explain it. So like maybe if I did something like,
I have not played BG3.
Oh, Baldur's Gate 3. You would love it.
They're making another Karate Kid. Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. What is Baldur's Gate 3?
Baldur's Gate 3 is essentially Dungeons and Dragons. It's literally Dungeons and Dragons, but it's an RPG. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. You don't have to know how to play D&D before you play this game. The game walks you through it pretty well. All of the characters are so well written. The dialogue is so interesting. You can make your own character, or you can play as one of the characters that the game has. Play their origin story if you want. A lot of the reason, one of the reasons, or a couple of reasons why the game got so popular so fast is because there's a couple of, you can romance characters in this game, and there are a couple of characters that have gotten fairly popular with audience members. One of which is like a vampire spawn half elf that is like very attractive and like speaks a certain kind of way. And then there's another character who's like a druid who's supposed to be an elf, but is like really big for an elf. And like he's very much a burly kind of looking person. But their romances are like their romance scenes have gotten audience members in a tizzy. So a lot of people got this game not knowing that the game had all this story and all this good other stuff. A lot of people play the game as like a romance sim. So all are valid. All are totally cool.
Well, it's been another hour, so I'm switching our background again.
Okay.
I've switched it every hour. Look at Rod's comment. To me, that's all Mass Effect Andromeda was about. I call it the quest for Blue Booty.
Yeah. It tracks. That makes sense.
It's really interesting for this show that they have a father and son in real life playing the older and younger version of the same character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's interesting because you've seen father sons play father sons before in like real in movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen a father son play the same person, the younger version and the older version.
Wait, what
it was a flashback, like when they both had like full roles in the story. Yeah, have you seen that, Rod? Have you seen that before? Now when it's like a flashback, when like actor's son or daughter plays actress's son or daughter plays them when they were a child in a quick little flashback where they had no lines, or just like a picture of them or something. But when both the parent and child are playing the same titled character and they both have scenes as the character. I haven't seen that before. Why did I put on lip gloss? I do not know.
Right. Does that look more normal than it did?
Flip it.
Okay. It's okay.
So like now it looks more normal. Flip it back.
It's okay if it's not all the way there yet. I know it's not. I just wanted to know if it's
It's better, but
Okay.
it's like because it's still like slightly weird though.
Right. Gotcha.
But on the flip side, it's definitely a lot better.
Okay. Well, that's good. It's improvement, you know.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get some more water.
Don't leave me.
I'm coming right back.
I don't like to be alone.
I'm coming right back.
She's leaving me, people.
I'm coming right back.
To anyone who watches this, know that I'm forcing myself, or I'm forcing her to let me be the James to her Fuhad. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And if you don't get it, look James and Fuhad up. No water, she must draw, right? I had only planned a certain amount of chapters for this book, and I've already exceeded that amount of chapters, and I don't know where this is going to end now. I mean, I know where it's going to end, but like there's like other chapters that are like, hey, this I could fit it here, I could fit here, I could fit here. I have my water. It's almost empty though. Chipmunk cheeks. I feel like I always save stuff thinking I'm going to like remember I saved it here. And then like I don't remember where I saved something. You're back. I missed you. I only cried just a little. You're muted, honey.
My bad. I'm back. Here I am. Back again. I fixed it. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I'm looking at the old file for the first book to see how many words are in this book.
Uh-huh.
And I might need to send this one to the editor again because Unless Grammarly got a huge update, it's finding so many issues. So on Grammarly, you could send your work to a like professional proofreader,
Mm-hmm.
and like you can like they'll charge you for it, but like I was looking at it because it came up as an option, but it only gives you 24 hours, 6 hours, and 30 minutes. It's like, but what if I only need what if I need it back in like a week? What's the price on that?
Mm-hmm.
What if I don't want it back in 24 hours? I don't want to pay $1,300. I mean, granted, like that's not bad for 24 hours because that's almost near what it would cost me, but like for the other one, but it's just like it's only correctness. It doesn't give me clarity. It doesn't do like everything the other one would do.
Mm-hmm.
What if I don't want it back in 24 hours? I'm fine with not getting it back in 24 hours. Why is there it is. Oh crap, this was only that many words? Oh no, it's more words. It didn't finish loading. I'm about to say I thought there was definitely more words than that. Okay, so I actually haven't surpassed where this other book was. Which is good because I still have a ways to go. But like well not really a ways, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. See, this is why I don't be finishing this painting, because I work on it and then I gotta fix problems, and then my brain starts hurting. I have to fix the problems.
Too bad y'all don't have like editors.
No, we're the editor. We're the editor of everything. I'm the artist and the art director.
I have to write a romance scene, and I'm like not sure how to. I'm so unromantic.
You don't you be reading?
Yes, but it's the difference between like reading what other people wrote and then like trying to write your own. So the only problem with that is I don't like I have read it before I tried to write, but then I feel like I'm writing what the person wrote versus my own story.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to do that. I don't want to write someone else's date story from their book because I couldn't think of my own.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm romantically depressed. It is raining out hard. I am working on the sequel to Amatry's Magic. Amatrice Magic, Book 2, The Last Portal Maker. Is that the title? Or did I change it? I think that's the title. And I have to write a romance scene of like a character and another character having a little romance. Still rated PG, like no like super bad romance. No, not super bad. No romance is bad. But like no like I don't know. No, The Last Heir. It's called The Last Heir. It was almost called The Last Portal Maker. Fun fact for if there's ever trivia and someone reads this and gets the story from me. Yes, no full frontal. They will be fully clothed throughout this entire ordeal. Because they're going to be like in public and they're going to like sneak off, and it's not going to be like it's going to be like a spur of the moment type thing, but they both know they're in public, and so they can't like go full crazy. Yes, only like petting. And I can read it really well, but writing it is just something different. And so one thing I've done, and this might be controversial as a writer, I've used like Chat GPT to like think of like random scenes and read how it's written to like get something in my head so I can write my own thing. Because Chat GPT, I will say, it makes the craziest thing, but like it's a way for me to visualize a scene that like I know I need to write, but I just have no way of like figuring out how to do it. So it helps me like visualize the scene, and then I just rewrite the whole thing because they are buzzwords friendly, and I hate buzzwords. But I'm trying to visualize how they're going to go from like talking into this scene, and I think it'd be like 2 or 3 more scenes, and then it's the end of the book. I might be able to finish this book tomorrow if I actually buckle down and do it, and not just it's like TikTok. I stopped texting my friend, which I'm literally doing right now. And stop being obsessed with Jocelyn. You're going to Google James and Fuhad after this, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's what she was doing."
Oh no. You can't have those. So something in art that can happen when you're working on pieces is something called tangents, where you're painting things and you unintentionally have two things that are like pointy that line up together that are supposed to line up together, and it can be distracting. So for example, um, this area right here that I was working on, this is like the point right here, and it was starting to bleed into this, like the edge of this collar here, and like that can make a weird unintentional edge that doesn't make sense, and so I had to fix it. And that's why I was like, oh no, you can't have it. But I know that's like an artist thing, like probably only I would notice or care about, but
no, I think other artists might have noticed, but it's like one of the things where you don't know what to look for if you don't know what to look for.
Yeah.
I would have never, yes, you're right. I would have never saw that, but that does not mean other people would not have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why other artists critique other artists, because they know what to look for, and I do not. Oh my gosh, I'm a grown adult writing two adults kissing, and I'm blushing.
I feel like if I wrote romance stuff, I would write the most immature version of it first and then fix it.
Because it's like, it's not the writing that's the weird part for me. It's the fact that other people are going to read it and then they're going to be like, either I know what I'm doing or I don't. It's been a while since I've kissed anyone, people. I might have forgotten. Who knows?
Well, see, that's why you gonna have other people look at it and see what it, how it reads and how it feels, and we're gonna be like, "Girl, what you doing?"
That is not how people kiss. Like, what are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna probably have to stay at 9:00 our time.
That sounds okie dokie.
Because it would have been almost 3 hours. And I will admit, I've been sitting at this computer, looking at this computer screen since noon and writing all day. My brain's like, I think I need a break.
You put his
hand where? So there's this woman on TikTok that reads romance stories written by men, and it shows their utter and like complete lack of knowledge of the woman anatomy and what the female body is capable of doing.
Yeah.
And what is not capable of doing. Like our chest doesn't jump when we see a guy. Like it doesn't quiver.
Our titties and nipples do not quiver and shake.
They do not quiver when people.
They do not vibrate when men appear.
And her entire thing is just like literally reading romance novels written by men. And then there's this editor who is a romance editor for romance novelists. And she like talks about how she's to call her clients and be like, that's not physically possible. Like, no, that can't go in there. Like that, she will die. Your character will die. Fix it.
I mean, valid.
Yeah, valid. Raw, definitely valid. Because like the editor, she talks about what women think men are capable of, or like she's like, no, that's no. Because like no one is that flexible. Like, did he grow a third arm? What is he doing? His hand can't be in her hair and on her waist and in other places all at the same time. So it's, and then you have like the women who are into and again, we never yuck anyone's yum. Do not kink shame. But like 12 feet? Why are we writing a book with 12 feet? Why? Sorry, not 12 feet, 12 inches. Why are we writing a book like that? It's like, why are we dating? Why are you into someone who's an 8-foot blue alien who has 12 a foot apparently that will break you? Because there are limits to the human body. Like I get that a woman's body can like bring life into this world, but there are limits outside of that action.
I think a part of the fantasy could be, because like realistically that doesn't make sense, of course, but I think a part of the fantasy is like imagining that you could, like that that would be
Children, stop listening to this. What happened? Oh.
For somebody reading it would imagine the other side of it and just be like, oh my god. Wow.
I read one where, because like it I have to be super honest, I was like just intrigued. It was morbid curiosity. And it was like a cozy little romance story. So I thought, oh, this is gonna be cute. Whoa, my god, like full on werewolf. Full on, like he is never human. He's just a like wolf, muzzle and everything. And you want to put what near where? And it's like, oh no.
I think
no, Rod, you should write that one. I'm not writing that. That would be hilarious. It's like, oh, come on, man.
You know it'd be cool. You know it'd be very interesting. If like if conventions had like a section of a vendor's hall, like an after hours vendor's hall where vendors had all of their not safe for like they could make not safe for work content.
Oh, they have those.
Oh, really?
GalaxyCon does that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they have some of them do have that where they have their after dark vendor hours.
That's really
I'm
cool.
just too much of a morning person to do that because I'm too sleepy.
Gotcha.
But you know, my friend, what she does is she has under the book tables, under the table books. And so when people come around and they're like, "Oh, I only read spicy romances," she's like, "I have spicy romance under the table books," and so she'll pull them out because they have like the steamy covers and stuff.
That's so
And
funny.
so-
I just can imagine just people with trench coats just like, hey, I got you. You want some spicy stuff? Hey, I got these books. What I got right here. Okay, you want that smut?
Yeah, she brings them to conventions, and when people say they only read smut, she brings them out, and then they always get it. They literally always buy it. Give me the sci-fi smut, please.
Right. Can you imagine? You just be at a show and like you have all your stuff, you know, your books, your art, and it's all your original stuff, and people are like, yeah, this is really cool, really cool. Do you have any like art of your characters? Like, fucking, like, do you have that?
Oh, so for two of my books, they are minors. And someone had asked me about one of them, and I was like, well, she's a child. So no. Like, oh, like, what's the smut rating? And in Alindo, they asked me about Alindo, and I was just like, well, she's 17 for most of the book. And it's like, okay, never mind.
There you go. There you go.
I was like, Amatri's Magic is the more adult one. There are no like scenes like that because romance is not my like main point of the stories. But yeah, no, people would be asking. It's like, oh, so what's the smut ratings in your book? I was like, well, these two, they are literal children. They are teenagers. They are children. They are minors. Go away.
Oh man.
It's like you have conversations with you, Jocelyn. You are not safe.
Sorry. My bad, man. My bad.
This podcast is no longer child friendly. Podcast. This live stream is no longer child friendly.
Zane in space. Oh man.
Okay. Well, I am tired, people. My eyes hurt.
We can call it.
But we're going into the slower season of my season, and I believe of your season as well, too, Jocelyn.
Mm-hmm.
So I will not promise once a week because I cannot promise that for both of us because I don't even know if I can do it once a week. So we will be back at least
maybe at least twice a month.
Twice a month.
Yeah.
Every other week. Bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Bi-monthly.
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
Yeah.
I learned that from Arthur. But yes, we will be back to have some more work with us sessions where we will edit and write and work on whatever we are working on. You'll enjoy whatever conversation comes alive. It will not all be sci-fi smut.
No, I mean it could, and y'all don't have to be prepared.
You may hear her amazing singing, my off-tone singing, our high-pitched singing of Luther Vandross. You may see me turn my wig if I'm wearing a wig again. Never trust Jocelyn. You may see more of Dawson's amazing work and artwork of different Lokis and other things. So thank you for everyone who stopped by. Rod, it was great having you.
Yes, thank you for jumping on and chatting
with us. And we will see you at another time. Love you guys.
See y'all. Take care.
Bye.